Derek, how good does it feel just to finish like this with that kind of, I mean, not just this week, but the last couple of weeks, but especially this week?
Yeah, I'd say, again, I say this every week, can't remember how many weeks, but like the last half of the year for us, I thought we were doing some really good things and improving. A lot of yards, getting better in the red zone, situationally third downs. And I felt like this was just like the icing on the top, of all the hard work. It came together all at one time for us, and really proud of that. We were, as a team, really focused on, yes, there was a chance we could have another home game after this, but if we didn't, we wanted to give our fans something to let them know, that we didn't put all that hard work in for nothing. We didn't get it done early on like we wanted to. It wasn't clicking early on, but we wanted to give them, something to be proud of, going in, hopefully to the playoffs, but if not, into the offseason.
You said multiple times that the difference, he thought that one of the big differences in the offense was your health. How much better do you feel now? And I know you didn't want to talk about it a lot during the year, but how bad was it in the middle part of the year?
I think the only person that really knows how bad it was my wife, and you guys won't get to talk to her, so no one will ever know, But for me, it was the hardest year physically for me that I've ever experienced, and so you can't say that while you're going through it because then it looks terrible and all those kind of things. But now that it's at the end, I do feel better. The last few weeks I haven't gotten hit, so I didn't re-injure anything, and the swelling isn't getting worse instead of better. I got better, and so you hope to have earned another chance to play and keep going because I feel good right now. But if not, this is the time to heal it.
You guys added that extra red zone work, and that obviously made a big difference. Was there anything else within the second half of the season that you guys changed up or did differently that kind of helped bring everything together and click and get you where you wanted to be?
Guys started. We started learning each other's schedules, practice during practice and during the week, and extra time of work together. We wanted to give it to everybody right away, but this did take us time, to get clicking this last half of the year. And there was things where, okay, he's not on that special team. Hey, let's work now. This is a great time for us to get extra work. Or, oh, you're not on that. Well, come get this throw with me. That kind of stuff. And I added. I can't even lie, man. Like the last 6 or 7 weeks, I started doing with DJ, one of our quarterback coaches, a drill that my dad did with me since I was a little kid. It's an accuracy drill that I've done with him since I was little. Every time we would throw. And before every Wednesday and Thursday practice, DJ would be running across the field like crazy, like a madman, and me doing this accuracy drill that my dad taught me, And I think that's a really cool thing, I was really proud of that because I was like, that's really cool for my dad. He doesn't even know that yet. I haven't even told him, so he'll find out soon. But he just jogging across, hitting certain areas, jogging across deeper, hitting certain areas. So DJ was tired, but I really think that. I literally tried to maximize just every window I could to say, okay, if there's a window of time where I'm not doing anything, can I work? Can he work? Can we work? And it paid off for us, And that took time, us learning each other's schedules and all that. But thankfully we started figuring it out.
I'm assuming you guys are probably frustrated it took so long to find it, but how good does it feel to have the optimism here at the end that you did kind of probably get to where you wanted to be?
Yeah, it feels great because I think we proved over the last 2 months like it's not just fluke. We showed spurts early on, but I'm not even counting that. I'm talking about consistently, moving the ball and consistently in situational football, consistently doing things the right way. We've proven that it can be consistent. We've proven that we can get better. That when you work at something with a bunch of dudes that want to work at something, it will get better in time. We all wanted it sooner. We all wanted it to look like that all the time sooner. But hopefully that this last half of the year has shown that this is what we can be. Going forward.
Were the rough patches ever challenging, like trying to get through them?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we're human. We're human. But my foundation will always be who I am, who Christ says that I am, and I never get too high, even though my flesh wants to. In a moment like that, you want to get excited about yourself, but it's like, just stay right here and just keep doing the process, keep loving my teammates, keep loving y'all, keep loving my coaches, keep loving everybody in the building, and just enjoy, this last half of the year, just going out to dinner throughout the city and getting to know people, seeing fans and seeing kids wearing my jersey and all that kind of stuff. That was cool to see, because now it's starting to feel like home, and that's the feeling I wanted to get to right away, but we had to earn that right.
You said you don't want to get too high or too low, but you seem pretty high after that last touchdown to A.T. Perry. What was going through your head, and what were you saying to the fans?
Oh, man. It wasn't even to the fans. It was to my dad, because I like that movie Gladiator. He's like, "Are you not entertained?" And so that was just a joke, because my dad was sitting right up there. And so, that was just a fun time between me and my dad. But, who knows what I was saying? I know I wasn't cussing, but man, I was probably saying something crazy.
To cap off the season, if this is the last game, of course there are other factors, but if this is, it's a cap off the season and have that kind of a performance in front of the fans, what does that mean to you?
It meant everything. It meant everything to our team. We said that we wanted to get the dome rocking and put together another great performance. And as Double D said, we wanted to put together a dominant performance. And that's hard. That is hard to do in this league. And so the fact that we could come out here the last game of the year at home, for our city, in front of our city, and do that, it has been unbelievable. And another thing I would say in the last half of the year is my relationship with Double D has just grown so much. We have breakfast every Tuesday or Wednesday together, right there at the facility, and just growing that unity. And so I just started seeing that kind of stuff happening with everybody too. Our team was growing tighter, everything was getting better. You grab a whole bunch of new parts. It takes a minute to get to know one another, and hopefully we won enough to get another opportunity. But if we didn't, I'm really proud of where things are and where things could possibly head.
What did you think of Olave's catch in the end zone?
I was just laughing. I couldn't believe it. He was one-on-one, and it's a perfect example. I tell these guys all the time, it's, as you guys know, it's been hard to get some of these shot plays up. Teams play our speed. They just play on top of it, and and so he got one-on-one. I was like, I'm going to give you a chance. And I don't even know how many times he did all that, but I do know he put those 2 feet down and had that ball. And he's just like, man, he always tells me after I hit him, I'm like, good route or whatever. He's like, no, keep slinging it. He just keeps saying that to me all the time. Keep slinging it. So that was one of those Brett Favre's just, all right, you go do it. That had nothing to do with ball placement.
What growth have you seen in A.T. Perry, specifically from the first Atlanta game? He was telling us that he thought kind of about that false start that he had right before you targeted him on the fade. Just what have you seen from him in terms of growth, and how much growth has he shown since that game?
He's shown a lot of growth, and I think that that there's still more growth that he can have, and I say that in an exciting way. He's someone we really liked. His release game is unique for how big he is. How tall he is, how long he is, and the fact that he can move and he's strong. You saw on that the second touchdown, just throwing guys. That again, that's not easy to do at that size. Sometimes those guys get caught up and it's hard for them to get off the release. But as a young player, he's shown to be able to get off those releases, and I'm trusting him against some really good players. The first touchdown, and he continues to go up and make plays for me and for us, and once you build that trust, from the quarterback, that's a good place to be as a receiver, because now that any opportunity one-on-one could be your opportunity, and he's made the most of them. I think of the Rams game, throwing him the goal ball, he goes up, makes a play. The one he dove and caught, I can't remember what week that was, but those time on task, that trust that we've built, and the first thing I said to him in there, I was like, if we don't get any more games to play, we got a lot more work to do. And in his mind, just, let's go.
As the season is over, how much do you take from the first half of the season? I know you've tried to correct throughout the year, but I don't know, when you examine, looking back, and I know you don't focus necessarily on the negative, but how much do you try and learn from that? Or
hopefully there's a lot of things that we've learned from, this last half of the year. Personally, team-wise, unit-wise, unity-wise, togetherness, all those things. And hopefully there's a lot of things that we've learned from that you can build on. But, you got to make sure that at the end of the year, once everything calms down, okay, let's go back through this. You watch all of it again, and you go through it, replay it in your mind. You look at your notes, you look at this, and you try and just make it better. And so, the one thing that is nice now is it's not my first time coming to the stadium. It's not my first time going to the facility. It's not my first time throwing him an out route or this and that. We hopefully can just continue to build, and hopefully get another chance to keep it going this year.
Derek, given how it ended, or given, how you guys played at the end, if this is the last one, would you expect there to be offensive continuity? I'm talking about players and coaches. Would you want that? Like, how if this is the end, how do you look at what happens with this offense in the offseason?
Well, 100% just continue to grow, Someone's excited. Just continue to grow. We really feel like we've gotten on the same page. We really feel like we're doing some really good things, and communication, all that. And I know that contracts and this and that, and who knows, right? It's the NFL. It's never the exact same, and that's the hard part about our league too, is like you build all this up, and thankfully we got some young guys where it will mostly be the same. Coaches, I don't know contracts, I don't know that stuff, but for me, you just hope that you can keep as many together as you can and just keep building, because no one wants to, no new guy, get a new guy, he's got to learn everything again, or a new system or new coach, that kind of stuff. You don't want to do that, it's got to be something you're familiar with, and you can keep building and growing. That's as a quarterback, for young guys, that's what you always hope for. But in this league, you never know what people are thinking, or is that guy going to retire, or is he going to keep playing? Is that coach done, or is he not? It's like I've seen coaches retire a week before training camp. You're like, we needed you, So all that is out there, but my hope is that we can just keep growing and building on what we've tried to sustain this last couple months.
Derek, we asked DA about his personal emotion about how the team finished winning 4 or 5 games. And he doesn't really reveal a whole lot to us. And what have you seen from him and how the team's responded to him challenging you all down the stretch?
Well, I will say that he challenged us. He challenged guys individually. He challenged guys, in a team setting. He challenged us, personally, individually. And I'm really proud of the way that guys responded. Whenever a coach demands something or challenges something, and guys respond, that's a really good sign for your team and your organization. And so, any challenge that he would ever give me, or even if it wasn't for me, I'd take everything personal. I just do that, just to keep that edge and that chip. Man, he's talking to me, I got to do that, And, for guys to feel the same way and respond the way that we have, I think that's nothing but positive, And to finish 4 out of the last 5, you wish it was 5 out of the last 5. That was the goal he set out before us. So we got 5 left, and I expect to win them all. We weren't able to do that. We got 4 of them. That's good, but it's not great, and hopefully we can get better.
As you wait the results of the next few hours, like how do you go with the next few hours? Like what's the plan, I guess?
Well, I'll go home and figure out all those scenarios. I don't even know them. I didn't want to know them this week. The only one I knew is the division one, just because we're in it, But I don't even know who needs to lose, if I'm honest. And so I didn't want to know. I just wanted to focus on taking care of my business, because if I didn't do that, none of this would matter. And so I'll go home, try and figure that out, and watch those games. Like I always sit down, watch, NFL Red Zone with my kids, because my boys love every single player, and they pretend to be everybody but their dad as they run down the hallway. And so we'll do that, and hopefully know what's going to happen. But I have no idea at this moment.
When you're looking at some of the offensive numbers and the improvement over the back half of the season, how much did using a little bit more play action help with that, and just kind of help you?
I think it helps everybody, and I think that was a big, major part. And I'm glad you caught that. That's awesome, because that was an emphasis for us. We got to be able to. I have to be able to turn around, hand the ball off, and it has to be good. I also got to be able to put that ball out there, pull it back, and throw it, and that has to be good. And when those two things are going, then your drop back gets better, because they don't know. Now you're in the gun. Are you running it? You're passing it. You're under. You're running it. You're passing it. And whenever you have all that going together, that's a recipe for success. But that was a huge part for sure.
As a part of that, what did you see from Kendra Miller today?
Kendra, he was sick. I don't know if they do that. Sorry, but he was sick. This week, man, battled. He's had the injury. And when he gets in the game, and like every time I've ever played with a rookie running back, like I double check, like after I call the play, like you're good, right? It's 36. And with him, like when I say it, he's like, I'm good, dude. Like, he's like, I'm good. And so he's probably sick of me for checking every time. But just really proud of his work ethic. And he went through a lot this year, But for him to be able to get out there and be in front of our fans, making people miss in the hole, lowering his shoulder, making those, what should have been, 5, turn into 7, turn into 8, like that doesn't go on the stat sheet as like, oh, what a huge play. But that matters in, for a play caller, all that kind of stuff. So to see him get that opportunity was really cool.
You weren't on the field for it, but that final touchdown, the big kneel down, give it Jamal. Do you have any thoughts on what happened there?
Well, I didn't even know. I know that they called victory, take a knee. And then from whatever happened after that, I have no idea, to be completely honest. And so I can understand someone's frustration, but I also understand that, that's not what the Pete called or DA wanted. And so I'm sure they'll hash that out or whatever. Someone gets to the bottom of it. You guys probably know more about it than I do. But at the same time, I'm happy for Jamal, getting his touchdown. That's my teammate. I'm always going to be happy for him. But I didn't know that was going to happen.
How much did you want for your touchdown though on the QB drop?
Oh, you saw that? So when we put that in this week, the little personnel thing it was a Taysom play. And I give those guys a hard time every Taysom play. I'm like, I can do that, even though I'm not trying to bust my head up in there 30 times. I was like, I can do it. So finally Pete was like, all right, we're going to give you this one. I was like, all right, perfect. So the fact that it was an efficient play made me happy. And then Jesse Bates looked at me. He's like, you did not just run a draw. You did not just run a draw. We've had a lot of fun over the years getting to know each other and play against each other. I love Jesse. But that was a cool moment, for me. Because he's like, you did not. I was like, I should have scored too. I got tripped. But no, it was good. Sorry.
I'm saying you're throwing a little juke there. I saw a wiggle there.
I can hoop. I don't get enough credit for my athleticism, man. I am first and foremost a hooper, and so, these guys will find out soon enough in the off season, that I can actually hoop. But yeah, man, I got something to me, maybe not as much as I once did, but I still got something.
Going back to the Jamal touchdown, is it concerning that if that's what Pete called to take a knee, that it was kind of overruled, or what do you kind of make of just?
No, I think in that moment, it was a big emphasis, like just as players talk, like, Jamal led the league in touchdowns last year, and I don't think he had one. The way you guys were talking, like he didn't have one this year. And like just as players, like you just love your buddy so much that ain't nothing sometimes in this league, ain't nothing a coach can do, no matter who it is. Players sometimes want to take care of their guys, and coaches end up having to deal with that wrath sometimes. And so that happens. Like I said, I'm happy for Jamal, but I understand the whole situation and all that. But I know that's not what Pete called.
You talked about coming together unity-wise. I mean, what do you mean by that? How you all come together down the stretch?
Yeah.
Locker room or the team?
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, as you get, more time we all spend around each other, I can, tell what makes you tick, and we sit at the table together, spend that extra time, me going to the O-line dinners. Like, they have O-line dinners every Thursday, and trying to be at every single one of those, and you get to know about so much about, you're sitting by someone new every time, and I just felt that unity and that growth of the care for one another, because you know about each other now, and I just felt that grow, and so it wasn't like we need to get closer, it's one of those things that relationships take time, and all of those things just in that moment just started growing and getting better, getting closer, and that's kind of, I hope I answered that right, but that's kind of what I felt. Good, thank y'all, appreciate it.
For you guys, schedule-wise, tomorrow, we have an 11 o'clock team meeting. Shortly thereafter, we'll open the locker room. Coach Allen will be available at 12:30 in the press room. All right, if any changes, we'll put it on the app.
So locker room before.
Yes.